Now, I like to do this on a cast iron grill pan. We'll get our pork chops out of the refrigerator here. I like to use a little center cut boneless pork loin chops, mostly because they cook faster. Obviously, meat on the bone has more flavor, but I like these because they're uniform in size and they cook faster. We're going to get a little of our Southwestern seasoning and a little bit of oil. And again, this is something very simple. Just a little bit of oil, and you can use olive oil for this. You can use canola, vegetable oil. Really, the only thing I'm using this for is so that there'll be something for the seasoning to stick to. You can also use like a Dijon mustard.
So it's just for the seasoning to stick to it?
That's all it is.
So you won't get, like if you were to use the olive oil, you wouldn't get a lot of smoke?
From what we're going to do, you're going to get a little bit of smoke no matter what.
Oh.
Because we're going to do this at high temperature so we can mark them really nicely. We're going to season our pork chops. I generally like to cook with canola oil no matter what.
It withstands the heat better, right?
It does.
Just in general.
Olive oil has a much lower smoke point. Again, I really like to use it as a finishing oil, salad oil, that kind of thing. And when I'm doing any cooking, I prefer to cook with canola, vegetable oil. Canola is healthier, so I like canola. So we're going to take our pork chops, put them on a grill pan.
Should that be already heated up to a really high heat?
Yes, this pan is at about 400 degrees.
Wow.
And it was preheating on the stove. I like to bring any cast iron, you want to bring it up to temperature nice and slow. What you can do to cut the time is, since you're going to use the oven anyway to finish the potatoes, is go ahead and have your cast iron in the oven up to temperature and then bring it out. I like to start it on the stovetop simply because then you're moving the pans around less and there's less chance of you burning yourself, which happens.
Yeah.
More than I'll ever admit.
I would forget and grab the handle.
And that's one of the reasons I have the handles turned out. Usually I have these, and I didn't bring them, but I've got these nice little cast iron gloves that just kind of live on the end of cast iron. They're silicone pads so that you don't burn yourself, because you will. I mean, you will forget that the pans are hot and you'll burn yourself.
Yeah.
So are we hungry yet?
Yes. I think so. It smells pretty good in here.
So we're going to go about 7 minutes per side. Once through, we're going to turn the pork chops about 90 degrees so that we get a nice even marking on them. And then right before we're done, we'll finish them in the oven. If you can see here, pork chops are looking pretty happy. We're going to go ahead and turn those 90 degrees.
Nice.
And since we're heating from the bottom, we're still going to need to flip the pork chops about halfway through the cooking process to mark the other side as well.
So do you recommend the grill pan compared to the actual grill, or?
You know, the grill pan is one of my favorite utensils. I use it a lot. I don't always have the time or don't want to always go through all the effort of heating up the grill outside, going back and forth. So the grill pan is really kind of awesome. It's very versatile. You can do a lot with it. It's easy to use. It's kind of hard to screw up.
Nice.
And you get beautiful marking. I'm going to go ahead and let that finish like that. I don't know if the camera can see this, but those look great.
They do.
Okay, now at this time, you leave the kitchen and you go have a margarita. Well,
Hey.
I guess that wouldn't be the best. So we're almost done here.
When you're the moderator, you can have a margarita on the side. What other types of protein would work well with this dish?
This will work with chicken, it'll work with turkey, it'll work with actually any firm fish. So you can do a halibut, you can do a sea bass. And actually, you can make this dish all vegetarian by taking out the bacon and doing this with extra firm tofu, which will work as well, or seitan. I never could remember how to pronounce that.
Yes, I don't know if it's Satan.
Yeah, that was just a really bad marketing decision on someone's point. One other thing you can do is you can do portobello mushrooms. So there's a wide variety of things that you can adapt this recipe to do. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and put those onions we talked about earlier in our cast iron skillet with the potatoes. And then just let them finish off in the oven.
So that would be one of the instances where you wouldn't want to grab the handle with your bare hand.
Exactly. That would put a really quick end to the show.
Yeah.
And your night at dinner. And we are just about done here.
Nice.
We'll start plating up in a couple minutes. What other questions do you have?
Well, so did you use the habanero sauce there, or is that a finish?
We're doing a peach habanero glaze, and what we're going to do is when this is just about finished, we're just going to put on some of the habanero peach barbecue sauce from Desert Smoke Barbecue. We'll brush it on just to give us a nice little glaze so that your pork chops are beautiful for presentation.
Nice. What other types of hot sauces do you have out there now?
We've got a full line of barbecue sauces and hot sauces. The barbecue sauces are sweet and spicy, pineapple habanero, raspberry chipotle, or habanero peach. We also have a line of hot sauces, starting with fire roasted hatch green chili. We have a habanero and then ghost chili, the world's hottest pepper, as well as coming out shortly, we'll have a line of chili flavored sea salts and sugars to use in different things. And I've seen them used in some of the most interesting ways you'd be surprised.
What would you use the sugars for?
I'll be honest, the sugars were an accident. I was playing around in the kitchen trying to come up with the recipes, and I grabbed a container of I was working with fine sea salt, and I grabbed a fine sugar. I mixed my chili with it, and when I went to taste it, I kind of went, wait a minute, this doesn't taste like salt. So I'm not really sure yet. I've done some creme brulees with both ghost chili and habanero and chocolate. You can rim drinks with them. There's lots of different applications for them. I'm really going to put it out there and let other people come up with fun stuff to do.
That's awesome.
So we're going to put on a little bit of our...
It seems like a lot of people are mixing sweet and savory now, so I think you're on the cusp of something pretty good.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big fan of that combination.
Yeah.
Sweet and spicy, sweet and savory. So we're going to get a nice glaze here. And we'll flip that over.
Would you ever recommend marinating it in a sauce like that?
Yeah, actually what I do for marinades is I will take whichever flavor sauce I'm using, in this case obviously habanero peach, and I would cut it 50-50 with apple juice. There's already apple juice in the recipe, there's already apple juice in the product, so you're not going to change the flavor profile, but you thin it out. Once it's thinned out, you would marinate your pork chops or whatever protein you choose to use for about a minimum of an hour up to overnight. The longer the better. And that's going to add depth of flavor.
What's the longest you would recommend marinating a meat in it?
The longest I'd recommend marinating most meats is going to be overnight. Anything longer than that, and you start the vinegar and the sauces are going to start to break down the proteins, and you're not going to get the result that you're looking for.
So are those still kind of cooking, even though you've taken them out? Are they still cooking in the pan?
Absolutely. Again, one of the beauties of the cast iron is that it continues to heat. So it's nice and evenly heated. And we are ready to plate up.
Nice.
So I'm going to get our little platter over here.
Will you be able to get us the recipe so we can post that online?
Absolutely.
Great.
Somehow I knew you were going to ask me that question.
Well, it smells so good in here.
You're a big fan of bacon, aren't you, Beth?
Of course. I eat it every day.
I don't know if I believe that.
Those look really good.
You could be happy just with this. A little bit of Manchego cheese or some Parmesan.
Are there any fresh herbs that would pair well with that?
You know, with this, I would like to put some rosemary or some thyme or some sage. I think sage would probably be my choice in this particular dish.
Yeah, that
Man,
sounds
it's hot
great.
here.
Yeah.
We're really cooking. All right, so.
It's not the fake TV cooking.
No, this is Foodies Live. This is real stuff here.
Yeah.
Well, we have another towel here.
That looks amazing.
And there we go.
Wow.
That is habanero peach glazed pork chops and southwestern seasoned baby fingerling potatoes.
Nice. Well, thank you, Tony. That was amazing.
Thank you very much.
As usual.
And bon appetit.
Yes, bon appetit. We'll have to dig in. I might have to eat bacon.
There's always a reason to eat bacon.
And thank you again to SubZero and Wolf Kitchens for having us, or providing the space for us. And we'll be back next week, so stay tuned for time and day of the show. Thanks for tuning in.